When did you start subscribing to hustle culture or hustle mentality? Welcome to the Black Man Black Health Podcast. I'm your host, Drew Cost. Today, I want to discuss what happens with Black women, Black men. It happens with everybody, but I really want to discuss why I think it happens and what can we do to come up with solutions. I was in currently getting better. Currently, I was having real bad back spasms. Your boy was in the store holding on to the carriage for dear life. My back was spasming and I'm getting it checked out. With that being said, I haven't been able to go to the gym in the morning at all. And that's part of my morning routine. Not saying the gym is bad, that's part of my morning routine. But I haven't been able to go because standing for long just hurts. So with that time, I've been able to still do my morning devotion, my affirmations, things like that. And I've been able to just like go back to sleep before my daughter gets ready for school. I realized I was sitting this morning and I realized that sometimes God is trying to put things in alignment for us. And then there's something in us that wants to hustle to just keep moving or to keep doing things. I was in a coaching call last night and one of the participants had mentioned that they had left their 9 to 5 job. So they had a lot of time to just work on their business and they had a team. So automatically people are thinking if they have a team and they have all this time to work on the business, this is good. Like they're going to be able to get so much done, you would think. And the person kept mentioning how they didn't want to burn out because they were doing so much. They were doing all the things that they said. I call this doing it all syndrome, DITS, which means you're trying to build the web page, you're trying to go to charity events, you're trying to go to speaking events, you're trying to coach people every day. It sounds heroic. It sounds good. It's also part of hustle mentality or hustle culture. And I know for a fact God has never, ever called us to hustle culture. And you may think, Drew, does that mean God doesn't want me to be diligent? No, I didn't say that. But I know for a fact He didn't call us to hustle culture. Hustle culture is more so when you don't take a break. You don't give your mind a chance to shut off. And it's also part of the plan of the enemy to kill, steal, and destroy. But it's also part of our nature and how we've seen things by either parents, grandparents, family, and friends, where we are only effective if we're hustling. The scripture that comes to mind is He'll keep us in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on Him. So when we were on the call with this participant, I asked them, why do you feel you have to do all the things? And they mentioned because I have more time, blah, 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 blah. And then I asked them, will that lead to burnout? And they stopped and they paused and they started to look around and a little bit of water started coming in their eyes. And I asked them, what does burnout lead to? And they said, anxiety, depression. And they started naming stuff and they realized my hustle, my doing all the things, doing it all syndrome is going to lead me down a road that I don't need to go down. And it's going to lead me to a road that God has never called me to go down. How do I know that? It's happened to me many times. Sometimes you get caught in trying to figure it all out and do all the things, and you don't realize God is trying to align you. You're just trying to align yourself and what you think you should be aligned to. Sometimes God can be setting you up for something bigger, just not in the path or the exact roadway that you think it should be. I'm guilty. We've all been there. You're thinking, 1 plus 1 has to equal 2. And God's like, no, I'm trying to do 1 times 10. I just need you to just follow the things that I'm showing you to do and let that be enough. In our society, especially as a black man, in our society, it's almost uncommon to see a black man resting. Jason Wilson talks about this, that sometimes black men feel guilty for taking naps, for resting. They shouldn't do it. Why not? Because how dare you rest when there's 80,000 things to do? It's not right. It's a part of hustle culture. It's a part of hustle mentality. So here's what I want to help you with. I want you to ask God, what am I hustling for? And what are you trying to align me to? There's 2 questions. What am I hustling for? What are you trying to align me to? And if they're different, then you want to go God's way. If they're the same and he's like, hey, instead of working 12 hours right now, I want you to work 4. Hard to accept as a concept, but you may realize that there's a reason why he needs you to rest more for the next season. There's a scripture in the Bible where Elijah has just done one of the greatest things. He's defeated the prophets of Baal. He slays 400 prophets. One man slaying 400 prophets is amazing in itself. Amazing in itself. He slays 400 prophets. And with that, after that, he goes and runs into a cave. And he's depressed. You're like, hold up. One day, homeboy is slaying prophets. The next day, he's depressed. Why? He's tired. He's burnt out from doing a lot. And God tells him, he's like, I feel alone, blah, blah, blah. God tells him, I have prophets. I still have prophets out here. He commands him to get out of the cave, go eat, and go rest. And he tells him, go rest because the journey ahead of you is great. If you get into hustle mentality and hustle culture and that becomes your norm, you're not going to be able to take on the new season. It's biblical. We know it. We see it. But sometimes you got to get permission. So here is your permission slip. Will you sign it? You do not have to live and hustle. Yes, bills have to be paid. Yes, things have to get in order. But hustle culture and hustle mentality is works of the flesh. AKA, it's works that the enemy wants you to follow so that he can wear you out. Today, I want you to ask those questions. What am I hustling for? God, what are you trying to align me to? And when you come up with those, when you ask those questions, just sit. Maybe journal for a little bit. Think, why am I still hustling? Why am I still going so hard? It's part of how we've seen things. Right? If you've ever seen your dad take a nap or something like that, or think about you even feel guilty taking a nap midday. Sometimes even me, like taking a nap midday, I'm like, oh my gosh, you could be doing A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And it's like, or you could be resting and do one thing effectively versus all the things, and it's not effective. Ask the question to yourself, bring it before God, journal, but don't subscribe to hustle mentality, hustle culture. Be good, guys. Be great. I'm out of here.